Boy, that one still gets me. Maybe this video of illegals protesting outside the White House for rights they're not even entitled to clinched it. Americans have had enough of it. They're sick of it. And today, the stunning poll that proves it. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto. And Mr. President, read it and weep. 7 out of 10 Americans think your immigration policy can take a flying leap. A new Gallup poll showing 68% of Americans disapprove of your handling of this border mess that keeps getting messier and now we're told keeps getting costlier. Something that likely won't make those numbers look any better. Talk, the White House is seriously considering granting amnesty for up to 6 million illegals who are already here. It's only talk, but someone launched this trial balloon, so why? Some say that the White House is just trying to rile up Republicans and get them back to that impeachment talk that Democrats argue has proven such a great fundraising tool. That's hard to say. This much is not. Those tens of thousands of so-called kids, many of whom are frankly a lot older than just kids, well, they're here, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. We've already told you about plans to process each and every one of them, including enrolling them for schools this fall, whether communities can handle the burden or the expense. I don't think I have ever seen an issue that has ignited such anger and genuine outrage. Let's just say the tweets and the texts and the emails have not stopped, and our editors are trying to clean up some of their salty language. Well, they've not stopped either. But keep them coming. We want to hear from you because we clearly see this whole illegal immigration mess is infuriating you. So keep telling us, keep tweeting us at #Cavuto. First to Steve Forbes, who eerily predicted a lot of this, and here we be. If the idea that the president, after Labor Day, limits the number of deportations or goes so far as to just grant amnesty to millions via executive order, how do you think that's going to go down?
What it's going to do, if he does it before the elections, it's going to be an electoral disaster. Whether you want immigration reform or not, people can't stand the sight of tens of thousands of a lot of young kids, people crossing the border, nothing being done about it, no emissaries being sent to Central American countries trying to stop this thing. Who's organizing it, trying to put a stop to it? They see a border out of control, and that frightens people.
All right, so I saw the risk of that, too, but there are many who look in the political base and say this actually would help him with key groups. I can't see that.
Your poll belies that.
Exactly.
It's one thing when people came across the border. They've been here for years, so you get a debate on that. But when you have this ongoing now, as we sit and speak, tens of thousands coming across, obviously a lot of organization involved, doing nothing to say, okay, we're going to take them back, put them in a bus, be humane, but start taking them back. There's none of that. People are saying, we're encouraging it. Tacitly encouraging it, and that's what's got people riled up.
What made this blow up, Steve, do you think, to the degree that it has?
The huge increase in the numbers. It's one thing, a couple of thousand, but this has been increasing exponentially. And then the response of the White House. Here's this most photo-opping loving president who can't resist an opportunity, refused to go to the border and say, we got to do something. He says, well, that's why I'm staying in charge of it. I'm overlooking it. Well, obviously, he's encouraging it.
And then you have the Honduran president, with which he met along with the leader of Guatemala and El Salvador, from much of this latest batch of illegals come, to say that it's our fault. The Honduran president said it's our fault in our, unclear immigration laws. What do you think of that?
Well, people pass the buck along, but the bottom line is you can have all those kind of photo optics you want, but if you're not seeing us doing anything, not seeing, in effect, telling these young people and telling their parents, we are taking measures. They're coming back. We'll do it very nicely in a nice bus and things like that, but they're starting to come back.
So they're emboldened by this.
They're emboldened. Why wouldn't you be?
You're also very good with money. And the fear of a lot of communities, from these tens of thousands of kids are being found out, are going to have to suck up the cost of registering for the school and starting classes and all the rest. We're told Fed help is on the way, but we shall see. In the meantime, by law, they have to register and educate these kids.
Well, this is what also infuriates people. The communities get this unexpectedly. Uncle Sam says we'll help out. Well, who does that mean? We, the taxpayers. And people are infuriated. You're doing nothing to stop this thing. In fact, you're encouraging it. Then you have us pick up the tab. That's a dereliction of duty.
Yeah, and these are some of these images you're looking at here, folks, are from towns and cities a long way from the border, in Boston and Detroit, and I could go on and on. All right, to our Fox Biz All-Stars now, who are going to be joining Stephen Me here, Hadley, Heath Manning, and Mark Serrano. Mark, This gets out of control really, really fast. What I'm not clear on is how it got so out of control so fast.
Well, it's the numbers, as Steve said, but, 60% is a damning vote of no confidence in the president's ability to protect us and protect our borders.
And by the way, this is across the board. His key constituencies who feel that he's let them down on this.
Right, but they're the ones who got us here. To your point,
right.
How did we get here? It's the activists in the base of the Democrat Party. And what he's doing is, it's a calculated risk. Although the numbers show that there's a lot of dissension, across the board with voters, it's the base that the president is looking to activate for turnout this fall. That's what this is all about.
But that would boomerang, wouldn't it? That base would boomerang if they're more offended than they are enthused.
But based on their experience in 2012, they want, the Hispanic caucus in the Congress, and a lot of those activists are getting the president to take this.
To do it now. I agree with Steve on this point, though, Hadley, that I know behind the scenes meetings with the president to say, whatever you're planning, don't do it before Election Day. I mean, there had been talk that he was going to, announce this deportation thing, to cool it on deportations, right after Labor Day or around Labor Day weekend, and they said, well, that would be not good timing for us. So how does it work? Help or hurt him?
Well, the inaction is as much of a problem as the wrong action in this case, Neil. We have a crisis at the border, and it wraps up so many issues. Quite frankly, it's a national security issue. It's an issue of budgeting and money. It's an issue of fairness, really, for the millions of people who have stood their weight in line to become American citizens. So it raises a lot of questions all in one. That's why 68% of people disapprove.
I've always wondered about that when they poll Hispanics on this issue, Steve, and others, and that Republicans are hurting their image with the Hispanic community as a result. But if I'm doing everything right, the whole process to become a U.S. citizen, I don't care where I'm from, and then someone cuts in line in front of me and gets a free pass or goes ahead and protests outside the White House and doesn't get so much as a summons, I don't know if I'm, enamored of the party that espouses that.
Well, one of the key things here, and I wish the Republicans would run with it, is reform of our immigration system. Those who play by the rules are punished. You often face excruciating delays. There's no real rationale unless you're a member of a family. So people who bring real skills in can't get in. So if the Republicans advocated, let's make sure that those are playing by the rules, get real speedy and just treatment, I think that would be a very popular thing.
Well, so the Republicans' tough stance now, in your eyes, hurt Republicans in the community? I would think that would be a logical position.
On the border issue, with these kids, I think almost everyone is saying this is ridiculous, absolutely outrageous. And if the Republicans coupled it with, let's not punish those who are playing by the rules, I think that's a winner.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break here. Not another winner for the White House here. We're another day, another scandal. This one, though, not in